but oh, there we go. Yes, we are recording the meeting so that you will be able to see it later. All right. I am gonna go ahead and try and share my screen again, and we'll just see what we get, right? All right. Are you all seeing just the PowerPoint or the PowerPoint with all my notes on it too?
Just the PowerPoint.
Okay, I think we are in business. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Jenny, are you still able to see the waiting room to admit new people?
I am, and I'm doing it as we speak.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we will go ahead and get started since we are getting started a little bit late. And I am sorry, you are going to be looking up my nose a little bit today because the way I've had to set this up, my notes are up here. So bear with me. But we will get it going. So thank you for joining us. My name is Emily Baumann, and I'm the communications manager at the St. Louis Community Foundation. This is my second Give STL day. I've been at the foundation for about a year and a half. Today, we're going to be covering our 2023 prize offerings in detail, including explaining power hours because they are a little bit more complicated. We're also going to give you some tips to strategize around certain prizes. And as I mentioned a moment ago, we are recording this training that's going to be available for viewing on our YouTube page. So we'll post the link to this recording as well as the PDF of the presentation to the trainings page of our website. So please feel free to put questions in the chat as you think of them because we will have a Q&A at the end of the training. You're also welcome to put in your name and your organization name, contact info in case you have the opportunity to connect with anybody this morning. So I'm very pleased to have with me today Jenny Praytor, our Director of Donor Services, and my right-hand lady. Jenny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I've been with the Community Foundation for almost 12 or 13 years now. I lose count every now and then, which means I've actually been around for all 10 of the Gives days. And I've been instrumental in helping on the back end of that. So many of you probably don't know my face or my name, but I guarantee you that we have interacted at some point, one way or another. I'm very excited to be here for the 10th year, and I'm truly excited about all that Emily has done to take this event even a little bit further than it has been in the past.
Thank you, Jenny. And instrumental is definitely the right word. Jenny is amazing.
Oh.
So we will go ahead and get started. So you might be wondering why prizes are a part of Give STL Day. We always say that this is one of the main incentives as to why your organization might want to participate, because prizes inspire donors. They make them feel like their gift is going further. So if you can imagine telling your donor, donate $10 to my organization versus donate $10 to me and we could win $1,000. It's, not a stretch to imagine which one is going to resonate with them a little bit better. Prizes also create a call to action. So let's say making a donation on the Give STL Day website takes 5 minutes. It is really easy when something only takes you 5 minutes to be like, oh, I'll do that later. I'll do it at lunch. I'll do it after dinner. Well, now I'm in bed. And suddenly Give STL Day is over. But when you're able to communicate an urgent call to donate, such as donate within the next hour and your gift will be amplified by a $20,000 prize pool, that person's much more likely to take immediate action. Also, we know that there's an element of friendly competition in Give STL Day. It feels good to win something, and it also feels good to know that you helped someone else win something. So hopefully your donors will understand the concept of, hey, help us win this prize, and they'll rally behind you. Lastly, we at the Community Foundation do our best to make sure that the Giving Day is as impactful as possible for all the nonprofits that participate. We start fundraising for these prizes many months before the Giving Day. We're actively doing that right now. And we connect with a bunch of community organizations, businesses, and individuals, all of whom are really excited to get behind you, the nonprofits, and support Give STL Day. Honestly, when it comes down to it, we just want you to have a great Giving Day and raise as much money as possible. I want to take just a second for some quick housekeeping here to remind everybody that when you register for the Giving Day, you self-identify into one of 4 budget categories: micro, less than 250,000, small, 251,000 to 1 million, medium, 1.1 million to 2 million, and large, greater than 2 million. You also will self-identify into a primary and secondary mission category: animal, arts and culture, Black-led, Black benefiting, community development, education other than schools, environment, health, human services, religion, schools, social justice, and other. Please make sure that your selections here are accurate because we use these categories to award some of our prizes. This isn't something we double check unless an outside party brings it to our attention that someone might be in the wrong budget or mission category. We do totally trust you here, but mistakes do happen. So if a question is raised, we'll always reach out to you to verify your information. Let's say you've been awarded a prize for the micro category, but someone's like, I don't think that organization is micro. We will reach out to you. But if we don't hear back, we might have to award the prize to another organization. So to set yourself up for success, just make sure that these are accurate before the giving period begins. Please double check. So let's go ahead and get into why you're all here, and let's talk prizes. So we are super excited to announce that our current prize pool is $196,500, which means that we'll be distributing nearly $200,000 in cash prizes to nonprofits on Give STL Day. And we are hoping that this amount is going to increase. We are going to continue to fundraise for prizes over the next few weeks, well into April. So please keep an eye out for updates. Hopefully this number will continue to grow, but I'm really excited to be able to announce the 196 to you all today. Jenny, I'm going to pass it off to you to get us started on a detailed explanation on our different prizes.
Absolutely. And another shout out to Emily for raising that much money for us. She's been diligent in doing our fundraising, and it's been fantastic. So the first prizes that we're going to talk about are the early giving prizes. There are going to be 2 of them this year, and they are $500 each. These are a random prize pool, which means that any nonprofit that receives even a single donation is entered into that prize pool, and our system will randomly spit out the winner. There are going to be 2 of them this year, and the same nonprofit cannot win both early giving prizes. Then we have the first and last donation prizes. Those are each also $500, and the same nonprofit can win both of these. And these are a timed prize based on when the donor enters the donation. I will let you know that they go by to the nanoseconds. We sometimes have to call our platform and say, hey, we say that we have 25 donations at midnight. Who was the last one? How can we best quantify that? This will be a little interesting this year, of course, because our giving day has been extended. And so I'm interested to see whether we'll still have people trying to madly give at midnight, or whether they'll realize that the last prize is actually at 10 a.m. or last donation time is actually 10 a.m. the next day. So time will tell. Something to look forward to.
Hopefully they'll do both.
Yes, exactly. And then we also this year are offering a new first year participant prize of $500. This will also be a random prize pool from any nonprofit that has received at least 1 donation and is participating for the very first time in 2023. As you'll see later on, we do have some prizes for those nonprofits that have been with us for all 10 years, which is great, but we want to make sure that we welcome everybody into the fold as well. So that's what we're trying this year. We're hoping if we raise a few more dollars, we might have a couple more of these, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, our goal is to actually award one to every mission category. So to have 4 first-year participant prizes. So check back for updates if you're one of our new people.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on to our hourly prizes, we have had these in our previous years. As Jenny mentioned, typically the giving period is 24 hours. This year it's 34 hours, but right now we're talking about those first 24 hours, 12 a.m. to midnight on May 10th. So all participating nonprofits are eligible to win one $1,000 cash prize, and these are based on number of dollars raised in an hour and most unique donors in 1 hour. And so unique donations, if a donor donates to your organization more than 1 time in a particular hour, that gift will only be counted once. We use a lot of different fields to identify unique donations. It's not just email address. It's not just, credit card number or payment method. So we do a lot of checking on there to make sure that nobody's able to game the system. And so to make these as equitable as possible, each budget category has selected hours in which it might win a $1,000 cash prize. So this means that it will not just be large organizations winning cash prizes. Every organization has an equal opportunity. So for example, from 12 to 1 a.m., the micro budget category, the most dollars raised in that hour will be awarded to a nonprofit in the micro budget category. And then from 5 to 6 a.m., most unique donors will be awarded to a small nonprofit. So this full schedule, all the hours, all the different budget categories, all the different prizes, it's laid out in detail on our website. I just updated that page right before we started that training, so that whole thing is there. for you to strategize around. And a nonprofit can only win one of these hourly prizes, one $1,000 prize in the first 24 hours of giving. For the additional 10 hours of giving in celebration of 10 years, we are adding 10 celebration prizes at $1,000 each. So these will be awarded from 12 a.m. to 10 a.m. on May 11th during those 10 extra hours of giving. So these are for nonprofits who have participated in Give STL Day every year since 2014, and they'll be awarded randomly to a 10-year organization which received at least one donation during the hour in which the award was pulled. So let's say my organization receives a donation at, 8, 9 o'clock only, I'd only be eligible for those 2 hours. So that there's a strategy there. Make sure if you're a 10-year, make sure you get one donation in each of those 10 extra hours. And you can only win one celebration prize, but you could win a celebration prize and an hourly prize. So in theory, you could win 2 of those $1,000 cash prizes. And I know we're throwing out a lot of numbers and a lot of timeframes here, but we do have a very detailed explanation available on our website. We're always happy to answer questions because we know that these are an important part of your strategy. Jenny, I'll pass it back to you to talk about power hours.
Absolutely. So this year we have $140,000 total pool for our power hours. And we're going to be having 7 of them this year, which is exciting because I think that's an additional one.
Yep.
You'll see the times that are listed. May 10th are 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 10, and May 11th is the 9 a.m. power hour. That is a new power hour this year for the next 10 years or 10 hours of giving. These are sponsored by the Burgess Family Foundation and the St. Louis Community Foundation. I think most of you know that the power hours are what we call an amplification or a lift or a boost. We want to make sure that you don't refer to them, particularly when you're talking about your donors, as a match. That is confusing. It confuses them with your own match dollars that you've raised. Plus, we've had some donor confusion where they have assumed that they were going to be matched dollar for dollar and they weren't, and they were disappointed. And we don't want anyone's donors to be disappointed. So again, amplify, boost, lift, all of these wonderful things. We have worked very hard to come up with an power hour formula that is equalizing, equitable across all of the nonprofits. When we first rolled these out way back in 2014, we didn't know to do that. And it was a dollar for dollar match. And they ranged from 15 seconds to 2 minutes for how long that $20,000 lasts. It goes fast. So instead of that, this formula where we take your individual nonprofit total that's earned during a power hour, we divide it by the total amount of money that is raised through the platform that hour across all nonprofits. We multiply it by the prize incentive and we get the nonprofit share of the power hour dollars. You won't be able to see those on the back end of the screen as you earn them. They will be included in that spreadsheet, the reconciliation spreadsheet that we provide to you when you get your check in June. And we actually do it donation by donation, so you can see specifically how each one was amplified.
And last year in 2022, about a quarter of our total donations came in during power hours. So
yeah,
they're very popular. And conveniently, they align with a lot of the morning and evening news times. All right, so moving on, we will award 4 $5,000 end of day prizes at 10 a.m. on May 11th. These are going to be awarded by budget category, so micro, small, medium, and large. This is a random award to a nonprofit that has received at least one donation in the total 34 hours of giving. So if your organization gets one donation on the giving day, you are in this pool for potentially a $5,000 cash prize. So in total, if you are a 10-year participant, you could win up to $8,500 in cash prizes. So the same organization could win all of these prizes: $500 early giving prize, $500 first donation prize, $500 last donation, one $1,000 hourly prize, one $1,000 celebration prize, and a $5,000 end of day prize. So if you're not a 10-year participant, your potential total is $7,500. So pretty amazing.
Emily, may I interrupt you for a minute?
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a question about the celebration prizes.
Thank you. I can't see that. So
no problem. So the question was, as a 10-year participant, does that refer to you signed up for 10 years or you've received a donation in each of those 10 years?
You would have had to receive a donation for each of those 10 years.
Okay. Thank you, Denise. I hope that answers your question. If not, just drop another question in there and we'll go from there.
So yes, if your organization, let's say you signed up in 2015, but you didn't receive any donations, you would not be eligible as a 10-year participant for a celebration prize, since you've received a gift for all 9 years, and then you're approved and participating in the day this year. So in addition to these cash prizes, we also offer a number of non-cash prizes. We're going to be offering AFP, that's Association for Fundraising Professionals, St. Louis conference registrations, staff headshots by Church Productions, a local photographer, Nonprofit Marketers Network organizational memberships. Our sponsor, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, is offering a prize that's $5,000 in advertising on their platforms. We've got some SLU men's basketball tickets to pass out, and we do hope to continue to add to these offerings as well. The way these are pulled and the timing that they're pulled is all listed out on the detailed PDF on our website. Some of them are for certain organization sizes. Some of them are for, I don't think we have any that are just for a certain category right now, but we spell all that out for you in that PDF. So like I said, please stay tuned. We do hope to add more prizes or increase the value of our current offerings. We will not be changing any prizes or pull times that have been announced today. So you can strategize around all of this without fear that something will change. We might just have more for you to potentially win. If we're able to add more prizes, we'll include information on the updates in our Give a STL Day e-newsletters and update that PDF on our website. So please keep an eye out for additional prizes that your organization can strategize around. For example, if we're able to add a big prize that's just for the animal mission category, I'll even go in and pull all the email addresses that are associated with animal category organizations on the site and blast an email out to you so that we can make sure that you see it. All right, Jenny, it's time for you to talk strategy.
Ooh, I can't wait. So this is a really high level overarching version of strategy, because everybody is going to be different. Everyone on this call, your strategy is going to be determined by your staffing, by your volunteer base, by your donor base, by your donor behavior, how much your donors are used to hearing from you, all of that. So what we want to say overarchingly is keep it simple. Keep your message as simple as possible for your donors, and make a plan. So if you are, for instance, a established nonprofit, you have a great donor base, your donors are used to hearing from you, regularly. Maybe even you are an animal organization that does a lot of online giving events, that kind of thing. Pick a prize or two and strategize around those two in particular. As Emily mentioned before, a call to action is always important, but when it's a specific call to action with a specific behavior that you're trying to get them to do, all the better. It's much more effective. So we usually recommend that you highlight one prize that you're trying to win, an hourly prize, and then one power hour. If, however, you're a new organization or you don't have a donor base or you don't have a staff and you're very, very limited, we recommend highlighting the power hours, and you can highlight all of them, because the power hours are not, it doesn't matter which power hour someone gives to, they will still get a boost, they will still give additional money. And we think that that's a really effective tool for strategy. And remember that we do have those random draws, which are no strategy, no sweat, as Emily so perfectly puts here. That's a great thing to communicate to your donors as well, that these are going to happen regardless. And just by the fact that you make a single donation, you make us eligible to win these other prizes if we're pulled. That's a great message as well. Let's see here. Can we go on to the next one, Emily? I'm sorry. So communicate your strategy. Obviously, you want your donors, your board, your staff to know what your strategy is ahead of time, and you all want to be using the same message. You want people to be, if you decide that you're going for the 1 p.m. most dollars raised in a category prize, everybody should be focusing on that same message. We also want you to have a plan for if you win and if you don't. This is a great opportunity to tell your story to your donors after the fact. Either, hey, you helped us achieve this goal, or we did great anyway, even though we didn't win the prize that we were trying for. Someone beat us out, but you guys got us X dollars towards there. So we think it's important to keep that in communication with everybody, let them know what your strategy is, and then let them know how you're doing on it. The next slide, please. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Everything about Give STL Day is supposed to be fun and exciting, and we have just been amazed at the creativity that we have seen throughout the years. A reminder that you can't give gift premiums, so that trip to Hawaii that you want to give away can't be associated with Give STL Day, because just every donation has to remain 100% charitable. But that doesn't mean that you can't have fun incentives that are not dollar related. So maybe if you reach your goal this hour, your president will dye their hair purple. Or maybe if maybe they'll agree to go into a dunking tank. We do little celebrations around our office whenever we hit $1 million mark. People come out with the plastic kazoos and the hats and the confetti and silly string and make it fun. Have a good time with it. That's what it's really about. And thank you. Gratitude is always so important. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know here, because all of you are professionals and all of you have been in this business for a while. A reminder that we don't want you to send a tax receipt. That's very confusing to the donor. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times we say this to people. I still personally get tax receipts from donations that I make on Gives Day. The gifts are to the community foundation. We are responsible, and your donors get an automatic, immediate tax receipt. But please do thank them. And I'm taking my foundation hat off and putting on my donor hat here just to share. Timeliness is really important. Every year I get a couple of donations, or excuse me, a couple of thank yous in October or November for Gives Day donations. And while that's great, I mean, better late than never, it's a real disconnect. The best experience I ever had on Gives Day was about 3 years in. We had a new nonprofit. They didn't have any staff. I found this out later. I made my donation online, and I had a thank you email within 10 minutes. When I talked to her later, she said, well, I don't have a staff. I don't have very many donors, so I just kept an eye out, and every time I got a donation, which wasn't very many because I was small, I just sent out this templated email. And I remembered that. I gave to them every year they participated after that. I'm telling you about it, 7 years later. So it made an impression with me. And I realized all donors are different. They want to be thanked in different ways, but as many ways, as many times as you can, we highly encourage the thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Jenny. I have an example of that kind of goes the other way. Last year, I made personal donations to 5 or 6 organizations on Give STL Day, and I received a thank you email within a month from one of them. But you bet at the end of the year, I got a letter and an email from all of them asking me for another donation. And I'm like a little hypersensitive to that, because obviously this is the field that I work in. But I was totally like, no, like, okay, I'm only important to you now at the end of the year. You didn't put me on your e-newsletter. I followed you on Facebook. You didn't make any posts. You didn't send me anything about Give STL Day. Like, I'm not going to donate to you again. So just make sure that your thank you is timely, and it's going to mean a lot to people.
I do want to jump into a couple of questions, if that's okay, or do you want to finish up first and then do
yeah, so this is just the link to the prize schedule. It's on our website, givestlday.org. You go to that For Nonprofits tab at the top navigation bar, and then down to prizes. That PDF is on there. And then this is just my email address and the info@STL Gives email address should you have any questions. Definitely contact us if you have questions on prizes, but if you just need something like a password reset, contact our friends at Neon One, our platform provider, using the blue support button in the bottom corner of the Give STL Day screen, because they'll get back to you pretty quickly. They're able to do some stuff on the administrative side that we don't have access to, like doing a hard password reset on your account. But we're always here to help, happy to help. You call the community foundation, you're going to get a person. So just let us know if you need anything. I am going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so that I can see the chat and we can get into Q&A.
Wonderful. Well, while you're
there, you all are. Hello.
With that, hey there. So I'm going to attack or answer Patricia's questions. Are you able to share how many orgs are in each category? She's with a One U City, which is a brand new micro organization, and is curious. I don't have those stats handy at the moment, and they're changing as soon as people register. But if you go to Give STL Day without logging in, You just go in as a user. You can search by category size, and that will list out how many are each currently in there.
Yeah, and I can actually give you some specific numbers from last year. This is part of our recap that is publicly available. I'll just I'll pull out the big ones. So we had 1,077 nonprofits participate in 2022, 95% of them receiving at least one donation. And the largest categories were human services with 287, education other than schools with 156, arts and culture with 134, and health with 109. So again, you'll be able to identify into a primary and secondary mission category as part of your registration and on your profile. This is just primary category. The secondary category isn't used as much. It's just when a donor wants to narrow down a little bit more. It's just like a double filter to be able to find your organization.
Thanks, Emily. And Katie Lenz asks, how soon after prize hours or power hours will the winners be announced? So power hours do not get announced. That gets included in your reconciliation spreadsheet that comes with your check. And that will be delineated by donation. And Emily, I don't think we've checked in about when prizes are going to be announced. Typically, they are doing within, well, during waking hours.
Yes,
I don't
we will not be announcing the 3 a.m. prize at 3 a.m. So we'll do kind of like a set first thing in the morning to announce everything that was won overnight. And then we'll do them like every couple hours to be able to announce like 3 of the hourly prizes all at once, just so we try not to post a ton on the day because we don't want to overshadow your promotional efforts. So we kind of block those awards together on our social media pages. And then you'll also see that the website gets updated with who wins the prize.
Right, that's on the leaderboard. The leaderboard, there's an actual prize leaderboard that gets updated as they're entered in.
Yeah, you can't see the leaderboard right now, but Jenny, it will be visible once the early giving period opens, right?
Right, absolutely.
I'm getting caught up on the chat.
As am I. I think that might be as far as I have.
Okay, Deneva asked for the link to the PDF.
I think somebody provided that after she
Oh,
asked.
okay.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you all for bearing with us with our technology challenges today.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Denise asked, is there a person doing live spots like in previous years? So yes, you are thinking of Chris Strub. His brand is I Am Here. He's the Giving Day guy. He was here in person in 2019 and then supported the day virtually in 2020. And the answer is yes, we will have him here. He's actually going to be here from May 8th to May 11th. And we are actively figuring out what his schedule is going to look like.
And Guillermo is asking, when will the checks from us be sent to the nonprofits? They go out by June 30th. We try our hardest to get them out before then, and depending on the number of them and depending on the issues we come into with reconciliation, it's just a lot. It's, you know, we're dealing with reconciling over 50,000 donations typically, and it takes our finance team, who are very hardworking, a little time. So June 30th is the drop dead date. If we can get them out sooner, we absolutely will.
We have a stuffing party where we all sit around a table and stuff many thousands of Give STL Day checks. Have pizza, that kind of thing. Patricia, I see that you're asking, you searched for your organization and didn't show up. I believe you're with One U City. That's the name that's showing up here. You have not registered for the Giving Day. It looks like your application for eligibility has been approved, but as a first-time organization, you also actually need to register. So if anybody else is here participating for the first time, you have a 2-step process. First, you apply for eligibility. And this is where our team, me, Jenny, and then our communications intern do our due diligence, making sure that you are eligible to apply and participate for the Giving Day. Once that's approved, you'll still actually need to register. And as we get closer to the day, we will send out a barrage of emails to the folks who we see in our site who have that filling out profile status, because there are always a few organizations who missed that that's a 2-step process and don't actually register for the Giving Day, and then they're disappointed. So we'll do our best to make sure that that is as few people as possible. And then if anybody wants to come off mute and ask a question, you are more than welcome. I know that we allocated an hour for the training. We never know how many questions we're going to get for this kind of thing. Or honestly, if you have a question that's not prizes related, we're here we're happy to help.
And one thing I
Chair.
will, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm new this year. Is there a minimum amount for a donation?
$10.
$10. Thank you.
Yep.
And one thing I neglected to mention when I was talking about the power hours is that even though the amount available is 20,000 for each hour, when you give does make a significant difference. So historically, our 6 a.m. and our 10 p.m. have given the most return on investment. So, but as we've been talking about that has changed a little, I noticed last year. And what I mean by that is, let's assume that you gave a $50 gift. Last year, if you gave that $50 gift in the 6 a.m. hour, $10.65 was added to your gift. And that was the highest return on the amplification. If you gave that same gift at 6 p.m., you would have earned $6.83 for the nonprofit. And if you gave at 9 a.m., it was only $3.89 for that same $50 gift. So there is a little bit of strategy about telling everybody which power hour to give, but at the same time, the more people that tell people to do that and the more gifts they give, the more that will be diluted. So just to keep that in mind, and to point out that 10 a.m. Or excuse me, that the power hour on the 11th.
The one on May 11th is at 9 a.m. So it's the last hour of giving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that I think is going to be really interesting because will people not give because they've already given, or they didn't know that it was being extended, they were going on past information, or will all the media coverage that comes up that next day mean more people will be giving, or it's the last hour of giving? So it's going to be interesting to watch and see how that affects donor behavior, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I hate to be like, oh, well, we don't know what will happen, but we kind of don't because we haven't extended it like this before. The Community Foundation puts a significant paid promotional effort for the Giving Day behind the Giving Day, and we are stretching that into the morning of May 11th. So we are very much publicizing that the giving period is open longer. We have a power hour during the last hour of giving. So we hope that you all will find it very beneficial and that it will kind of keep excitement up, keep donations going, and that we don't just see whack at midnight.
Hi, Emily. It's Denise with Oasis International.
Hi, Denise.
Hi. I was the one that asked the question. We've been participating every year, but not intentionally promoting it the first couple years. So we didn't get donations the first couple years. But anyway, so I'm going to say probably 6 years ago, before you guys kind of hit your boom and growth, like we used to get in the power hours, we totaled like an extra $2,500 a couple years. And so it's just kind of been declining every year since then, as you guys have grown, which is great. We love that, it's grown and more nonprofits actually promoted and so forth. But what can we do? Because we kind of relied on that extra funds. And so I'm just kind of in a quandary how to strategize this year, because it used to just be, we told our donors, we communicated, made our own postcards, stuff like that. We told them to give just during the power hours so that we could kind of catch everyone. And so I'm scared to say everyone donate at 10 p.m. or 9 a.m. Thursday morning or whatever, because then you're banking on everybody being available in that one time. But yet the way we have been doing it, it's just been declining. I mean, I think we maybe got $700 in power out, which is, we're small, like that's a lot of money for us.
Denise, I'm
gonna let Jenny handle this one.
Yeah, well, and I'm just jumping in here. I do want to ask, do you have any I hate to use this word because it means something different to every organization, but any major donors, or do you already try for matching dollars? Because I think that based on what you're telling me, I think that would probably be a better strategy than strategizing around just simply strategizing around the power hours. So you could probably replace some of that by asking for specific, creating your own matching opportunities from dollars received from other funding sources. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we've had matching gifts every year ranging from 5,000 to 10,000, depending on
Oh,
what
God,
we can
that's
get.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we're already doing that.
okay, okay. Then, yeah, then I'm afraid I don't really have any great options for you, because sadly, you're right. As the event has grown, and we have actually increased the power hours. For a while, they were $10,000. But until we hit our own stride in fundraising and get past that, where we can offer bigger amounts for each individual one, I don't know that there is a great way to capitalize on that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with Jenny. The power hours are great because, like, they're free money. If that person happens to make a donation during power hour, it is going to be increased, by some percentage, depending on what that amplified donation total ends up being for each donation. But as Jenny mentioned, I was going to say matching funds. And then also it may be that your organization's budget category, one of those hourly prizes that you can win should align with the power hour. So it would kind of be a way to hit both. Like, we're, I'm not sure which budget category you're in, but we're eligible for power hour dollars and $1,000 hourly cash prize in this hour. Like, please donate in this hour. You can kind of double up. Okay. All right. So Robert asked in the chat, just to be clear, are you recommending that we promote the extended hours in advance? Do you think we may run the risk of donors delaying a contribution? So the answer I have for that is kind of a non-answer, because it does all depend on each individual organization's strategy. We recognize that some of the smaller organizations might not have the capacity to run a giving day for an extra 10 hours. And you may decide, 24 hours or even 12 hours is enough for me. I can't handle this. Maybe we're going on vacation to Hawaii. I don't know. So it really depends. That depends on which, if any, of the power hours you want to promote. We are publicizing the extra 10 hours of giving. It is part of all our efforts. So we are doing our part to raise awareness for it, both with the media placements and then also with communications that we are sending out to our fund holders and past Give STL Day donors. But it's really up to you what message you want to send. I think it's kind of fun. The whole reason we did it is it's 10 extra hours for 10 years. There's a lot of emphasis on 10 in my day-to-day life right now. I think it's kind of a cool, it's a little marketing gimmick. Or you could choose to do it as, hey, did you forget to donate? Well, you're in luck. The site is taking donations until 10 a.m. You haven't missed your chance. Like, please come support us. So, Jenny, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you handled that beautifully. Absolutely.
Thank you. You're welcome, Rob. Anybody else? How are the winners selected for prizes? JJ asked that. So this depends on the prize. You will want to review the prize schedule posted on our website. Some of them are drawn by budget category by hour. Some of them are drawn by budget category throughout the 34 hours. Some of them are much more random, like the early giving prize is awarded. There's 2 of them awarded to any organization which receives a prize during the early giving period, just completely randomly. So please review the detailed prize rules and schedule on our website for more specifics. Okay. This is always the awkward part. We just sit here and stare at each other. If nobody else has any more questions, we can give you back 15 minutes of your morning. Thank you again for your patience this morning with the technical difficulties. I was messaging Jenny ferociously. I was like, PowerPoint is just a black screen. So we really appreciate it. Like I said, this has been recorded. We will be posting the link to our website. We will also post a PDF of just the prizes presentation in case you want to go back and look at that without listening to us talk. So thank you
very
all
much.
so much for your time. And thank you, Jenny, for making the time this morning. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting. I hope everybody has a great rest of their day, a great weekend, and then, of course, a great Give STL Day. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.